Welcome to Neural Wings, your source for Kalamazoo Wings game analysis and predictions, brought to you by absolutely no one. I'm your host, Ano, here to recap the last week of K-Wings hockey and what's ahead for the red, white, and blue. Central Division Update. The Central Division race has transformed into a high-stakes sprint as we move deeper into March, with the top two teams separated by the thinnest of margins. The Toledo Walleye currently hold the lead with 74 points and an impressive record of 33 wins, 13 losses, and 8 combined overtime and shootout losses through 54 games. Chasing them relentlessly are the Fort Wayne Komets, who sit just 2 points back in second place with 72 points, and a record of 32-14-8-0. While the Indy Fuel have established a bit of a buffer in third place with 61 points, the real drama is unfolding in the battle for the final postseason berths. The middle of the standings is a total logjam, as the Bloomington Bison and our Kalamazoo Wings are currently locked in a dead heat for the 4th and 5th spots, each sitting at 56 points. It is critical to note that Bloomington holds a game in hand over the Wings, having played only 54 contests compared to Kalamazoo's 55. Our Wings currently sport a record of 25-24-3-3 and will need a strong finishing kick to stay ahead of the Cincinnati Cyclones, who are looming just 1 point behind with 55 points. Even the Iowa Heartlanders, while trailing in 7th, with 43 points, remain a factor in the weekly points race, as the division remains one of the tightest in the league. Game recaps. March 6, 2026. Home overtime win versus Jacksonville Icemen. Score 6-5. The Wings opened their weekend homestand with a high-scoring back-and-forth thriller that saw Kalamazoo secure the victory at the 5:07 mark of overtime. Andre Gantos led the offensive charge, earning the first star of the game, while Kylor Wall and Zach Okabe provided critical goals to keep pace with the Icemen. Aku Koskenvuo stood tall in net, facing 43 shots and making 38 saves to secure the 2 points. March 7, 2026. Home loss versus Jacksonville Icemen. Score 3-6. Saturday's rematch saw the Icemen respond with a dominant offensive performance. Despite Kalamazoo keeping pace through the second period with goals from Josh Bloom, Hunter Strand, and Colin Bielik, Jacksonville pulled away in the third with 3 unanswered markers. Aku Koskenvuo took the loss in net, turning aside 26 of 31 shots in front of a home crowd of 3,888. March 8, 2026. Home win versus Jacksonville Icemen. Score 4-1. The K-Wings capped off the weekend by finding their defensive stride in a disciplined outing. After a scoreless first, Kalamazoo exploded for 4 goals, including power play markers from Josh Bloom and Jackson Kunz. Jonathan Lemieux was exceptional between the pipes, earning the first star of the game by stopping 25 of 26 shots to secure the series win. Performance analysis. Analyzing the K-Wings' performance over this 3-game homestand reveals a team that is finding its identity through high-end offensive production and resilient special teams play. The special teams unit remains a massive pillar for this club. The power play and penalty kill are still performing at a high level, statistically providing a reliable safety net that kept them competitive even when 5-on-5 play fluctuated. Additionally, the Wings displayed a fierce willingness to stand up to physical pressure from a non-division opponent, maintaining a gritty identity that energized the home crowd at the Wings Event Center. However, the team is still struggling with consistent defensive structure and shot suppression. Allowing a staggering 43 shots in the Friday night overtime win is an unsustainable burden to place on your goaltending tandem. There is also a recurring and dangerous habit of surrendering momentum in the middle frames, as seen in the Saturday night loss, where a tie game quickly slipped away in the third. Transition defense remains an area for growth. Several of Jacksonville's goals this weekend came from quick counterattacks, where the Wings were caught with too many bodies deep in the offensive zone. Finding a way to marry their elite scoring potential with a more disciplined defensive shell will be the key to turning these high-scoring affairs into consistent regulation wins. Roster moves. The front office was active this week, managing several key shifts to stabilize the roster for the final push. The most significant move on the blue line was the activation of Colin Saccaman from family leave, which provided an immediate veteran presence to the defensive rotation. Offsetting this, Brendan Dowler was placed on the 14-day IR, and Orlando Minolfi was moved to the 3-day IR following the weekend's action. Robbie Drasner was also transferred to the 14-day IR, further thinning the back end. In the forward group, the team saw a boost with the activation of Spencer Kennedy from the 14-day IR and Cam Knuble from the reserve list. To accommodate these additions, Evan Doherty was moved to the reserve list. The crease also saw a revolving door. Jonathan Lemieux was activated from reserve early in the week, while Tirik Uten and Aku Koskenvuo swapped places on the active roster and reserve list to manage the goaltending workload. Affiliate update. The Abbotsford Canucks are currently navigating a challenging stretch in the AHL's Pacific Division, where they sit in 10th place with a record of 21-33-3. The team is currently 10 points out of the 7th and final playoff spot in the division as they push to climb back into postseason contention. The organizational link between Kalamazoo and Abbotsford was highlighted this past weekend by goaltender Ty Young, who spent a significant portion of this season with the K-Wings. Young recorded his first career AHL shutout on March 7th, making 23 saves in a 4-0 victory over the Colorado Eagles. This followed a 5-2 loss to the Eagles on Friday, where the Canucks struggled with defensive structure before rebounding behind Young's performance. The roster has also seen an immediate spark from newcomer Thompson, who has registered 5 points in just 2 games since being acquired in a trade for Jet Wu. As Abbotsford moves into a busy week with games against the Manitoba Moose and Henderson Silver Knights, the development and transition of players between the ECHL and AHL levels continues to be a central focus for the organization. Upcoming games. The K-Wings have a light but high-stakes schedule this week, with just 2 games on the slate, including one of the biggest traditions in Kalamazoo hockey. Friday, March 13th, the Wings head to Illinois for a critical divisional showdown against the Bloomington Bison. Puck drop at Grosinger Motors Arena is scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Saturday, March 14th. It's the game everyone has been waiting for, the 38th annual Green Ice Game. The K-Wings return home to host the Indy Fuel on the iconic green-painted ice. Be in your seats at the Wings Event Center for a 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time start. This is a specialty jersey night, so prepare for the post-game auction. Well, that's it for today. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend. It helps out more than you know. I'm Ano, and this is Neural Wings. Let's go, K-Wings.